Hey guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome to my channel. I'm laughing because this is like the second take of my video and I talk way too long. So I'm going to try to do this a little quicker for you guys, but I want to show you the inside of the book at the same time. I want to share with you guys how we're going to be using it for my first grader. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. I am a homeschool mom of two. I have a third grader and a first grader. We've been homeschooling for 5 years now, and I homeschooled a little bit in high school. Pretty much most of the school years I was in public school, but I just share on my channel here, our journey and the unit studies that we do that I usually create on my own, how we organize, how we plan, and the books that we're really loving. So this is new to me, guys. I've seen Gather Round everywhere, and I've heard Rebecca talk about it on her YouTube channel when she launched it, and it seems really exciting. My son, who's in first grade, it took him a while to get into reading, so he's finally, reading books like Dr. Seuss and all these things. So I thought it would be fun to do something really fun for him. And I've been looking at the emails coming in, and I've never seen a unit study that I was really excited about until I saw this one. And I was like, oh my gosh, my son is gonna love transportation. And this is kind of going to replace his language arts. He never really had a language arts per se. He just had a reading lesson book that we've kind of moved away from because he's reading books like Dr. Seuss and his Paw Patrol books and all of the readers. So I thought, along with his reading and his math, we can do this for his grammar and his language arts. So we will still be using Explode the Code, not because this is not enough, but this is not our main core curriculum for him. It's just going to be, a unit study. So that's how I'm going to approach it. I'm not going to have do every single thing in here, but I want to do all the fun things that he wants to do. And I want to make sure we do grammar and language in here. They do have spelling in here, so we'll work on that. So this is what it looks like in the inside. A lot of you guys have seen flip-throughs of Gather Round, so I'm going to go through this pretty quickly and share with you guys specifically what transportation is all about and how we're going to use it in our homeschool. So a 3 to 5-year-old to a 16 to 18-year-old can use this curriculum. This is basically what Gather Round is, a typical day is. So 10 to 20 minutes you read from this guide. So this is the first little section that we read last week. So it's all of these pages, and then they have a little day at a glance for the teachers here where they're showing you okay, he's going to do the notebooking page, language arts, grammar, experiment for science, and Bible. So that is the first day. We're not doing this all in one day. We kind of broke it up, and then here are the answer keys right here, and then this is the next lesson for the next day. So every lesson is a day, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages to read to the kids. Now for my son, it's not too much because he, ever since he was a little baby, since I have an older kid, has been listening to me read chapter books and lots of long books. So for him, it's fine. But when it's too much, we'll just break it into 2 days. It's totally fine. It all depends on the day that we're having and if we need to do a quick day of school or if we can take a long day. Mondays are our long days and Tuesdays where we do school for a longer time. So I'll definitely be able to read this, the whole 5 pages to him on a Monday. And then it has your student work in the notebooks. So the pages include all of the things on the right-hand side: seat work, notebooking, science, social studies, history, geography, grammar, writing project, Bible, and art. So they incorporate all of these subjects in most of the lessons, and she says it takes 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So that all depends upon how you're doing it. It might take me 45 minutes a day to do it because we're just using this as a unit study. Math is not included in it, but everything else is included in here. So that is what I like about it. I think it's great. If you're going to do this all on its own for a family and you're all going to do the same subject, that is excellent. It is probably a really awesome resource to do that, but I'm doing it a little differently. Usually I do unit studies for both kids, but my daughter wants to learn about dogs this quarter and my son wants to learn about cars and vehicles. So we're going to do it this way and see how it goes. This is the teacher's guide, the scope and sequence of all the subjects that I just read to you about. And then this is the optional life skills list that I think is going to be fun for him. This is really cool. I know that Rebecca loves bullet journaling and I've seen some videos that she's done on it. So it's nice that she has her style incorporated in the teacher guide so you can lesson plan very easily, and I love it. There's a list, there's notes section, there's little boxes, and the artwork is so pretty, guys. So this is just all the level supply list for pre-readers all the way to high school. So you can take a little screenshot. Very, very nicely laid out. It shows like all of these little like color code right here. Pre-readers, early readers. The purple ones are the early readers. So these are the books that they recommend. And this is the books that they recommend in the farm lesson, and then there's one book for on the water. So there's just like 1 or 2 books for each level, but you can find so many books at the library. We have been to the library prior to having this unit study, and got a bunch on tractors and race cars and airplanes, and my son loves it, so we're reading those along with this in no particular order. But today, since we were learning about the farm for lesson 2, we read the DK Smithsonian Farm book, where it talks about tractors and how they did it earlier on, the more modern ones, and we've been having a blast. So here is the table of contents, scripture, and then they have prayer up here. So if you're a secular homeschooler, you can easily just not do that and not do that, which is fine. You can get a quote from an inspirational quote somewhere and have them read it. So there are 5 pages, like I said. So this one, there's a little activity break. This one goes over the geography for Armenia, for the first pair of shoes they found. They're just talking about old transportation back in the days and animals helping, how they, made the wheel and how it was made out of stone. And then the next ones were wood. And all of these things that were in earlier years for transportation and the evolution of the wheel. This was really fun for him to do. And then they have a science experiment, or like a little science page, where it asked them to do Play-Doh. He made a stone wheel and he put a straw inside of it like an axle, and then he made a rubber wheel. So he enjoyed doing that a lot. And then this right here is what I showed you from earlier, this day at a glance. This is at the end of every single lesson, and it's going to talk about everything they're going over. So notebooking is what they do when you read. So let me show you the notebooking. So for instance, when they're talking about notebooking, this is what an early reader does. They can write words in here or draw pictures. So whatever level they're at or whatever they want to do. What's transportation? He made an old tractor, how people moved along time ago, which was the wheel. So this was his stone wheel and his wood wheel, and then he had to make wheels for the wagon, and he colored it while he was listening to me read. So that is what notebooking means. This is lesson 2, so transportation on the farm. I read this today. I read pretty much all the pages up into here, and then the next day, tomorrow, I'm going to read the picking assistant. I read a little bit of this, and I explained the diesel versus gasoline with him. We'll probably watch a YouTube video on that. And so here's some life skills, and here is the notes for the student and teacher all in front of you, so you know exactly what to do after it. And then again, here is the day at a glance of what you'll be doing. So here's the answers. It's great. It's all open and go. So this is stuff like that you'll be doing, and the things that you're going to be talking about with him, like emergency vehicles, hovercraft. I mean, there's so many like transportation vehicles in here, like dog sleds. My daughter wants to listen on that because she's learning about dogs, spacecraft, ships. It's going to be really fun, and I have a feeling we're going to like really get into some of these, and we're going to be on like one lesson for more than a few days. Like these race cars and learning about Ferraris, I'm sure is going to be something that my husband's going to want to talk to him about. And escalators, he's always fascinated by escalators and elevators and how they work. So we're going to learn about like the ins and outs of all of these things, and he is going to have a blast. And here's the early reader. So I'm going to show you, it flips that way. This is the scope and sequence of the early reader. So you can screenshot that. But here's all the Bible scripture verses, the spelling words, passages, and language arts. And over here on this side is vocabulary, geography, science, history, social studies, health, and art. It's really, really simple, guys. And here is my reading log. So they're going to draw the book cover, character, favorite part, and they can draw it or they can write it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 little pages of that. So it's nice. If your kids are into writing, they can write. If they want to draw, they can draw. Whatever they feel like doing, or they can tell you, you can write it down for them. The table of contents the same as the teacher guide, same scripture. So basically this is what the first week looks like. This is the copy work that they're going to do on that next page, which is right here. It's a traceable. Now with my son, he can do copy work, so he can trace it, And then the next day I'll have him do the copy work on his notebook page. So we have a little notebook that he has that he can write the scripture here. That's just what I'm choosing to do because I feel like he can write really well, and I would rather have him copy it than trace it. For like a pre-reader though, I think the tracing will be an excellent idea. Spelling focus, they just talk about like that they're going to focus on the long E sound, and then here are the spelling words for the week. So you can do 3 of them. You can do all of them. We just did the 3 for the first day. And the calendar work, so there's a little checklist down here, which I think is so smart. So he traced that, Lord, please help me be happy today. And we did the calendar, so he put Friday, today's date, windy and sunny, the temperature, and the time. So that was nice for him to understand. And that's his little turtle that he saw outside of our house and our little pond. So this is week 1, and we did 1 last week, and I think a couple, then we did 1 this week. So last week we did fix it, which is just talking about adjectives and describing him. So we circled the words that described him, and then we cut out some of these little strips from the back appendix, and we described the conductor being angry and upset. He has striped clothes and he has red hair. So that was fun. We did that today, and we did this one. This one, he was thinking about a person that he loved and to use adjectives to describe that person. So this is really technically not a person, it's a dog. He wrote that. And then that is it for the grammar. The grammar has 3 days a week. So that's perfect because we'll do 3 of these. Sometimes it'll take 1 day, sometimes it'll take 2 days, and then we'll do Explode the Code along with it. This is week 2 grammar, day 1, 2, and 3. There's lots of cutouts and circling, so it's not a lot of writing, especially if your kids are not ready for writing. This is like perfect if you want them to do more writing. They can write in and fill in the blanks instead of doing the little cutouts. So it's up to you. And then there's week 3. So that is the copy work, all of the spelling words they're going to do for the week, and what they're going to work on, and the checklist, and the calendar. After that, you'll see in the back, this is what they're going to start doing for lesson 1, which I showed you. The notebooking is what they do while you read. And so they pretty much color and they take notes or they draw. And then lesson 1, they did language arts, where they talked about, I had him read this, and we circled what the story was talking about, what character was, what the character's name was, and circled the adjectives. So we're getting into character and adjectives right now, which is really nice. I love the way she does it. And then here is science. We did a little Play-Doh experiment, and he was making wheels out of Play-Doh, and they're drying right now. We did it with a straw, and he did rubber tire. I think I just said that already. So, and then there's other experiments. We just didn't do these. We just did the first one. He really wanted to do it on his own. And then here is a Bible one about perseverance, and I kind of talked to him about it, but we didn't do it. This was writing with your other hand that's dominant, or the hand that's the weaker hand, and a ping pong bounce and a ring toss, and we haven't done that yet, but I might go back on some of these activities that we didn't do and do them. This one is our lesson 2, so this is the notebooking. He drew the wheels and a scenery in the back, and I just wrote down the things he told me about tractor and drew some buttons and stuff like that, and he might go back and color it when I read the rest of it. So he just drew, and then tomorrow when I read the rest of it, he'll just color it in. And then we went over language arts, which was so fun, talking about adjectives. They had these sentences that were boring and not descriptive, and so we made a silly sentence and described Pat the cat that had a polka dot mat and a blue and orange hat. So he was able to draw the cat, which was really fun, and that is what we did. We did not do this today for history and science, which they're talking about horsepower. We'll probably do that next. Then this one, we're going to be doing social studies and science, and they're just pictures that you cut out and put in order with the step 1 through 4. So that's really simple. And then this is the other one that we did not do that we'll do tomorrow, which is science and health, talking about posture, because they were talking about in here the picking assistant invention, and they're talking about how this helps you not hurt your knees. And then they talk about posture here, which is a little bit of science and health, and what bad posture is and what good posture is, and talking about that. So that is what a typical lesson looks like. There's so many things like geography that you're going to learn. So they're going to learn to label some of those countries, pros and cons, some stories, some more notebooking, lots of different things. They're learning about, the Great Lakes. So, and then they're drawing while I'm reading. He'll be drawing a bicycle. So it's very, very interesting. I think it's going to be super fun. And like I said, we're just taking it easy. And here are the cutouts that we've already used for some of the lessons, so they don't have to write. And I think it's really interesting because he likes to cut, so I think he really enjoys it. Here's the adjective list that they're going to use in lesson 7. Here's some more cutouts. Here are some pages, I guess, they're going to write a story about. I'm assuming they can dictate it to you and you write it down, or if they're good writers, they can write. And then here is a story map card that we'll probably be using. Here are some spelling game ideas that are awesome. So we did the toss it one, which we wrote down the spelling words and we tossed it in a little basket and played basketball. And then at the end, oh, there's some more ideas too for spelling. And at the end, they get this really cool, successfully completed the transportation unit study. So it's really nice to change things up a little bit because we were doing like reading lessons, and now since he's reading a little bit better, now he has his own like language arts program, and I think this is like a perfect language arts program for him. Not too hard, not too easy, right in the middle, and it's very much his style because he likes to cut and paste. And I think it's like explaining, language arts to him in a very gentle approach, especially like with adjectives and describing a cat and then drawing about the cat. I really like the way they have the lessons very Charlotte Mason, very short lessons and to the point and not a lot of busy work. But like I said, we will be doing Explode the Code still. I love Explode the Code. He learned so much. He learns how to read through that, and he knows he's been learning to spell lots of words through that workbook. So we'll do this, and we'll try to balance out Explode the Code with it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Like I said, this is like my first time doing a couple lessons, so I'm sure I will learn a lot more about this program, as I go into it. So if you have any tips and tricks about using Gather Round, let me know, because I am no expert in this curriculum, but I just wanted to do a flip through on here because I don't remember seeing anything recently on transportation because this is brand new unit studies. So I wanted to just get this out here because my channel is all about, reviewing books. So I wanted to get this out here to share with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you guys join me at Mama Shmoo's Homeschool Reviews. I will see you guys in my next video. Have an absolutely wonderful week, guys. Talk to you later.